Hey, I'm Angie.
And I'm Ryan.
And we are
Happy Healthy Vegan.
And we have got a hard-hitting, drama-packed video for you today on a topic that's sweeping the internet.
Figs aren't vegan!
So you may have seen, we recently took a trip up to Sonoma. We went to the farmer's market there in Sebastopol and picked up some of the delicious, regionally grown figs.
From California.
Yeah, so people are basically saying, like, figs aren't vegan, or figs are carnivorous plants, are you okay with eating them?
Carnivorous plant like a Venus flytrap?
Yeah, like the fig's like, come to me.
Me, Mr. Wasp.
So there's like this fig video that everyone's watching on Facebook, and I actually went ahead and shared it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/happyhealthyvegan, and said like, oh, so this is why people keep telling me that figs aren't vegan. And it had so many comments on it, babe. First of all, it had like 5,000 views, which is like,
wow,
for our Facebook page, and just like tons and tons and tons of comments. So I know that you guys really want to talk about whether or not figs are vegan friendly.
What? The gist of the situation is this, if you haven't seen any of these kind of sensationalistic videos, is that wasps crawl into figs in order to mate, reproduce, and thereby pollinate in the inside of the fig too. It's like a flower on the inside rather than the outside.
Yeah, it's funny. I was eating figs at that pizza party the other day, and they were saying how it's an inverted flower. So yeah, so the female wasp goes in and loses her wings and can't get out, but then she lays eggs, and then out of that, the girl wasp should be able to get out, but the boy wasps never get out. So there are a few, casualties in this whole reproductive system. But I mean, I think they said it was called mutualism. The figs can't live without the wasps, and the wasps can't live without the figs. So it's just part of this natural cycle of life.
Yeah, the figs are far from being a carnivorous plant, though. It's a symbiotic situation.
I don't think the figs don't actually want to eat the wasps, but they have this like an enzyme that will break it down. So by the time the fruit has been plucked by a human or a bird or whoever and eaten, the wasp is already long gone.
If there was a wasp in the first place, it doesn't go into every single fig.
Yeah. And by the way, the female wasps, they really only want to get into the male figs. That's where all the magic happens. And if they happen to get into a female fig, pretty much it's for naught. But I think it does pollinate it if it's brought stuff from the male into the female. It's all very complicated, but you guys can watch the videos on YouTube.
To reproduce, you must transfer pollen to make seeds and then disperse them inside the figs. At this stage, a fig is not a fruit, but a secret garden whose delicate perfume attracts a flock of fig wasps.
This story is getting so big that even Huffington Post got in on it and wrote an article on it, which they since updated with some interesting statistics that nearly all figs in the United States are grown here in California. Yep. And 95% of California's figs are self-pollinating.
Ooh, crisis averted! So according to the research that I did on Google, it's the Smyrna type figs which require wasps. And there's only one type of Smyrna fig that's grown in California. It's the Calamyrna. So those are the ones that we want to avoid because they require the California farmers to actually import wasps and use them to do their bidding, basically. All that being said, even if you're eating wild foraged figs that have this natural process of pollination going on, is it really fair to say that that's not vegan?
Yeah, so I guess the other vegan issue is actually eating an insect or two with your accidentally with your food. But I want to point out that agriculture and insects kind of go hand in hand. Like, case in point, like when we go to our farmer's market, those beautiful white cauliflowers we get that have no sprays whatsoever, often what do we find inside them?
Yeah, I have some video of like little pretty big green worms in there, cabbage moths, which I let out into the garden, even though they're going to eat my stuff out there. And the corn too. I remember last weekend the corn was just crawling with tons of pretty big caterpillars, and like the tips of the corn will be gnawed off by them. And it's just showing us that the food is grown organically. It doesn't have a bunch of pesticides on it, which is great. Which is great.
The dangers of organic food. Look at that. He's been going to town in the fridge for the last week. Hi.
When I think back to when we were gardening hardcore and we had like this big kale forest, basically.
Yeah, had these little aphids and eggs on the underside.
The whole underside would be coated, and I'd be like, oh, vegan quandary, what do I do? Like, do I spray it off with water? And do I just try to find the leaves that don't have the bugs on them, only eat those? And I just, after a while, I was like, you know what? I'd rather just buy kale from the farmer's market.
And let them deal with that
so
problem.
I don't have to think about it anymore.
We don't want any moral quandaries. No! Let them have them. So yeah, leave your comments down below. As a vegan, is it tough for you now to eat figs because of these recent stories in social media?
And be honest, is it really because you feel that it's not vegan, or is it just because you're grossed out by the idea of eating an insect? Keep it real.
It's probably a little of both, huh? Yeah, so let us know down below, and hit like if you got some out of this video, and share it with a friend who's been talking about veganism and figs.
Yeah, so stay subscribed for more vegan content.
Like this?
Happy Healthy Vegan. You guys aren't vegan though, you ate a fig! And until next time, keep it carved, baby. Keep it carved. Got a hard-hitting, drama-packed video for today. Oh crap, I plugged it.
Do it again.
All right.